Hi, welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in unpacking one new Chinese expression today. Yesterday, we talked about 一损俱损, which is the second stance of the phrase of 一荣俱荣, which is you thrive together and you lose together as well. That's how one and 俱, one of them and all of them are interconnected. So today we continue with 损 in 损益表. So if you see three characters, most likely it's not ancient Chinese. And if it's not ancient Chinese, either is the language used to adapt to contemporary living, right? It's a contemporary creation to be suitable to describe our lives today. Or it could be a translation of a concept from the West and then translated into Chinese. So in this case, it is 损益表. It talks about the loss, the same meaning as yesterday, and talks about the gain in 益. So 损 and 益, which is losing or gaining, two directions, right? And 表 is the table. So what table is that? It is income statement. So that's how Chinese translate income statement into 损益表, which I think is a good adaptation of Chinese original meaning, which is about the loss and gain, right? How you're profitable is it positive or negative, basically, and that's the bottom line we're looking at on income statement. Okay, so 损, again, we have the five-finger hand symbol that's tilted toward the right, and the right is actually a signifier to distinguish it from the hair image, which all of a sudden occur on the same frame here. This is the hair symbol. You see how they kind of look similar, but it totally describes the different things. So this is a five-finger hand, human hand. But over here, it has a similar structure. It also have two horizontal lines going this way, but it does look like structurally a little bit different, right? But when things got super simplified or written quickly, it can get confusing. So that's when somebody decides the left tip added to the tip of this vertical line is the hair that looks like this, and the right one going to be the human hand. So two converging images means totally different things, and then eventually have to differentiate. So I guess that's why this number 8 came into being, like the things converge, and at some point we have to differentiate, separate them again, and going this way again. Wow. Okay, so the five-finger human hand signifies human. The right side is a food container. Back in ancient times, that bronze, that metal making, forming, or casting technology that make a ton of highly decorated food container pieces. Either it's holding wine, holding whatever food, or sometimes it's a ceremonial, like you're giving food to your ancestors or the divinity to show your appreciation, kind of like a sacrifice, right? So that container has this special meaning. So I guess it also has human daily used utensils, food for drinking or eating. So that kind of food container eventually, because it's a metal piece, so it's not going to get destroyed easily over time. So that's something like kind of a relatively permanent asset in your what you own. So humans and things, these are two categories of resources you have to run your household or your country, whatever scope you are talking about. So these are the major assets. Just like in a company, right? You have an equipment category, and then you have a human resource, expanding of the humans. So this is a Chinese way to classify the two resources like this. And when they combine together, we have the human resource, we have things resource. And then together, it means something eventually you're going to use up. So this you need to replenish somehow, right? This is both your resource. You also, they are also kind of slowly deteriorating over time. So people get older or things get worn out. right? So in accounting, we have amortization, right? Amortization. Oh, I forgot how to pronounce it, but you get what I mean, right? So it has to be calculate the diminished value of things over time. So it's not going to come full value all the time, just like a car, like you buy a new car, it's one value over a year, it's going to be worth less. So naturally, over time, things are going to cost, things are going to evaluate less, both humans and the thing. And I guess in ancient times, humans, because in today's knowledge worker, dominance, in many of the industries, knowledge workers, the more experience they have, their value actually go up. But versus ancient times, if you are a farmhand, your prime time is when you're young, right? And you have a lot of power to expend. So over time, you get older, and you probably efficiency, the output of your labor are going to diminish over time. So that's why both humans and things, stuff, are going to diminish in their value over time. And that's the loss we talk about. Okay, gain came from this container again. So if this is food container, I guess it has a cap on as well. This, by the way, the circle on top is this aerial view of the container, of the opening of that container. So this is a side view of more like a liquid container. And the left and right probably is two hand holding that. Probably is a super simplification of the hand holding that the stand of that container. And then you see this aerodynamic horizontally flowing thing is water or wine, some liquid form. So the whole image is about you're pouring wine to this bottle and it's overspilling, it's going horizontally, it's you fill it up to the full, to the brim of it, and continue to fill to the effect that the liquid is going to go flowing out of it. So this image of liquid on top of the container flowing, that's overspilling. And the language use overspilling mean it's gain. Like you're not only max out your current container, you're overflowing with extra gains. So that's the gain concept. So now we come to the table. Table is a contemporary invention, right? I guess ancient times have a type of bookkeeping method as well. But before the contemporary accounting system was invented, I doubt ancient times, well, I shouldn't say so. Maybe there are ancient times smart people to have a very good organized system of bookkeeping. Maybe, but I'm just saying this table, this tabular format of storing information was a contemporary thing, especially after Excel, the spreadsheet, right? This is 表, is table. But where does 表 came from? If the table, the contemporary Excel spreadsheet thing wasn't there in ancient times, then where does 表 came from? Okay, the 表 came from the fur coat. Okay, this is the fur. Okay, we have the left turning corner on the tip to signify this is not a human hand, but this is fur. It's fluffy. It's going horizontally. The fluffiness expressed in here. And now we have this front neckline, because ancient times, like a contemporary clothing, we have cut and sew to make 2D fabric into 3D form, right? And then we have all kinds of openings. So we can button or zipper or hook it, however, or snap it, right? However you want to close it. But ancient times, especially ancient Chinese, probably before, or they may have a certain cut and sew method to make garment. But very commonly seen is this type of neckline, which is wrapping this 2D form of fabric around your body. And naturally, it will form this, one is lower, the other is higher on top of it, and to form this kind of a wrapping neckline. So that's the front neckline. And this is the back neckline. I guess here is a dart to show, so basically the front and back neckline to show the full garment. So the garment plus fur means fur coat. And fur coat in ancient times, I guess in contemporary as well. Well, some of the contemporary fur coat, I guess most of them, the fur are facing the outside, even if the fur looks like sandwiched within the front and back neckline, almost like the fur it's facing inside, right? But facing inside, the fur may not feel comfortable to our skin. So fur coat, most likely the fur are outward facing, and you have the skin side of the fur facing your body. That's more comfortable. And also it insulates as well. It serves the purpose of keeping you warm. But this fur facing fur coat eventually extend into the surface of something. So 表 originally means the surface. And in later days, 表 was used to mean expression, because it has this, you surface your intention. That's expression, right? And here in this table, it's like you surface the data. You lay things out there. So observable things out there. And as an expression of something, we can only see things on the surface level. Below it is guesswork. So on the surface, whatever lay out on the surface, that's the table, the data collection thing. So that eventually becomes table translation. I think culturally, that's a good extension of what 表, the surface of the fur, to the surface of things, to the surface of about something, some data collection about something. I think that's appropriate. So 损益表 is Chinese income statement translation, because we care at the end of the day, we care about the bottom line, which is this net income. Are you making it? Are you losing or gaining? So we put, again, the language trick here, because lose or gain can be sequenced anyway. But when we put 损益, that means you 损 first, you lose first, and then you gain. And the note is ended with the gain. So of course, the hope is, as a business person, we put in so much work and time, we want to gain from it. And a lot of times the condition for you to gain something is you lose something first, right? For you to provide some service or do something, you have to invest. So that lose comes in front of the gain. And I think 损益表 in that sequence is a nicely formed, compact message of the whole thing, this chart, what it's about, because you have a lot of expense over there in the front before you can finally come here to say the bottom line is how it looks. And of course, it's not a default setting you're going to gain from it. There are many risks involved, but the Chinese capture what income statement is about. It's about your losses, your expenses, but also about your gains, your sales, your revenues. And in the end, you look toward the bottom line, how that looks. Okay, so that's 损益表. Cash in to the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.